So good afternoon. I'm in the process now of replacing the old compressor. I had put new gaskets in last year. They held up pretty well. And this is the one where the clutch burned up. Yes, last year in August. So I had it running for most of the summer. And this is now the new one. The new one is a tad bit shorter. And the first thing I realized by transferring the manifold is that the holes here in the compressor itself are off by like 0.2 millimeters. So what I did is I widened the holes with this kind of reamer tool, and you can see this. But then I cleaned the whole manifold out with compressed air here. And now I was able to get this on. They have a universal plug for this here, which I cut off. I put a new pin on here, which I had. And I had another diode. This is a suppressant diode, which you have to put on there, which this thing doesn't come with. And I replaced that terminal ring they had on here because that thing was way too flimsy. And they come with these porthole plugs. Basically, I lost one there somewhere on the floor here. And well, we will see how this works. I don't have a lot of faith right now in this here. I would say when you actually line up the mounting brackets, the front section will fit, so it will align here. You can see this, but you can see that this compressor, the new one, is shorter by probably a 1/4 inch. And just for that fact, if this thing is going to last 5,000, 10,000 miles, I will be surprised. This is part number 58338, made in China, Four Seasons, and this is the P10 or P15, I believe. That's what that is for. Came from your favorite place, Rock Auto. Was like 180 bucks with the shipping. They have fancy seals and everything on there. You can see this, but it is not exactly the same. What is also missing is the numbers, and then the S for suction, and then the R, I believe, for discharge back here, the D, discharge. Those stems are missing. And I don't think that there's a date on it. Otherwise, it seems okay. I checked the fluid level. I filled up about another 15 milliliters of the pack 46 R134A, because that's what I'm running in there. So now I'm going to put this back in here, and I will let you know on how this is going to go. I still got to torque these two bolts down, but you can see is you have to transfer this bracket here as well. And I use one of these punch tools to get actually the Phillips head screw loosened up here, because that screw, I don't know, they must have torqued that down with 200 Newton meters. Anyway, next segment will be when I got this in there. Okay, so now we're back under the car and we got it all tucked in here. See if we can show you this. Yeah, this is about as close we can get. See if we get the light a little bit better. So this thing actually fits. If you wonder why I got all these things hanging down here, well, I turned the car on to test the clutch and the belt, and the thing runs pretty well, and we may have to tighten it a little bit more. It sucked I had a rag in here, and it sucked the rag in, so that kind of, for beginners, that's where that was at. But otherwise, no big deal. These holes are much larger than the bolts, which means it will fit on here. But I'm not too convinced that this thing is going to work really well. We will find out, and I'm running the pump right now, the vacuum pump. And then we're going to charge up first, so we're going to see how it holds the vacuum. And then we're going to get the thing charged and see how it works. Okay, so this is how the setup looks like it with the pump. And right now we're vacuuming it. Then I'm going to turn the pump off and I close this valve here. And you can see I got this already here set up. I can tear the scale like this. And then I can open this valve up when we're ready. And the engine is running. I turn everything on and then I go little by little on the blue until we have about 30 ounces to 31 ounces in there. And you can see this, I can do this kilograms, pounds, and just ounces. So this way I can see exactly when I'm at 31 ounces. That's really all there is to it, to charging it. I vacuumed the system for half an hour. And then I see for another half an hour if the low sides are gonna hold up, if the vacuum is gonna hold up. And then I charge it. And what happened is I have a rag up here. You can see some of the evidence still there a little bit. And the rag got sucked into the belt. It went through a few times, then it fell apart. And now I got all these pieces here. I blew the engine already out. Most of it, 99% of it is out. The other stuff is stuck on it and I ain't gonna worry about it now. We'll give you an update here once we have it charged. Or first, how the vacuum is holding up and then the charging. So we got about 3-5 minutes left here, and we can see this is all good. It is holding everything. So now the way I proceed is I'm going to turn on the compressor. These two are off, so the gauges are showing us exactly of what the system is doing. And then I actually open up the bottle to fill the yellow hoses. And this way there's everywhere is vacuum. And I'm going to have Freon to this point here. We have a glass here which will show us what this thing is doing, and then we have the glass down here, which is somewhat difficult to see with the camera. I go, the first bursts I do until the compressor starts engine running, and then I do 4 ounces at a time, give that a minute or two to let it circulate, then give it some more, another 4 ounces. The fill capacity is 35.3 ounces, exactly 1 kilogram. Or 992 grams, actually. That's what they're saying in the manual, which is right around 35 ounces. I usually go up to 32 ounces, and then I give it a 5-minute wait, and then I go up to 34, and I leave it there because that system is now 36 years old altogether. So I don't want to overstrain this. That 1 ounce of Freon is not going to make any difference. I tested that out. It doesn't get any colder, but it strains the pump more than anything else. So now we can actually see the new pump down here. She came in pretty nicely. All right, let me get this ready here and get it charged up. Okay, so now we got this thing installed and I got the cold air coming out here. I winded up putting exactly 35 ounces in there. And that compressor runs much smoother than the older one. So the older one was apparently already not as good internally anymore than what I thought it was, but it is still producing cold air. So there's this here. I gotta go to the gas station now and get some gas. The other thing is I wanted to say is what these people want you to do is to turn the AC on and off for about 10 times for the clutch to burn. And so you wait and then you turn it back on. I did that already now 2 or 3 times. Here comes the compressor on. Compressor off. Compressor on. Compressor off. Compressor on. This is the economy setting here with the compressor where there's no AC. So I did that now 5 times. They said about 10 times. This is just to get the clutch worked in since it is new. And this way the whole system should work better. I think that should be about good enough here. And the AC gets nice and cold, of course, when you keep it running. What helps when it gets real hot is to turn on the internal air circulation. This way it sucks 80%, it recirculates 80% of the air. This car does not have any of the cabin filters like what the 140 series, the W140s, and C40s and the Coupe 140 later on had. At this outside temperature, about 80 degrees F with nearly 100% humidity today, we had just rain here earlier while I was working on it, and the humidity is just unreal. It really makes a huge difference, and the fans are now circulating on and off when the condenser temperature is approximately, or the evaporator temperature is approximately 160 F. When that pressure comes up to 160 F, and that is regulated here from this unit here. They turn them on and off, and that works fine. Once it gets like over 95 degrees Fahrenheit here, we usually have the fans running on the low setting basically continuously as soon as you turn the AC on. Other than this here, everything is pretty good. I gotta still fix my rear window regulator. That guide thing is still broke. That's about it. And then the interior stuff, I haven't made much progress with it. But other than that, we're fine. On that Four Seasons compressor is now the compressor I took out apparently was the previous version of this Four Seasons compressor of the one I bought now. And the earlier version, the one I showed you here in this video, was pretty much an exact replica of the Mercedes-Benz or Nippon Denso P10 or P15 type compressor in terms of size and everything. And there the duct work, the manifold fit 100% perfect on it. On this version I put in here, which is now available here, and like I said, I think I paid $160 or $170, somewhere around there. That unit is a tad bit off with those 4 mounting holes for the manifold, so you have to kind of ream them out carefully and then put this together. We will see how long this compressor is gonna run. It makes a very different sound than the old one, the one I took out, but I would say we're good to go here, and I got cool air which feels really good in this humidity. And with that, we will be tuning in here when we have more stuff to come, and I wish you a great weekend.